incarcerated individuals' use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies. Thank you for using Securus.
Welcome, folks. It's Friday night, and that means it's time for the grand jury. The live stream that does grand jury game show style. We take 5 volunteers from social media platform X in particular, but you don't have to be on X. If you're on YouTube or somewhere else watching us, get a message to us and you can be a volunteer as well. But each Friday night, we take these volunteers and we ask them to review use of force videos through the lens of a grand jury. They have some rules on how they're supposed to make that happen and how they're supposed to make their decision. We'll go over those in just a moment. But until then, before we get there, let's meet our panel this evening, our volunteers for this week. I'm going to go to Matt. You're on the hot seat, my friend. What do folks need to know about you?
All right, Joe, thanks. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm a business owner from Maryland, and I tell you, the thing that I'd love people to look at is my nonprofit. It's called Rink to Reef. We take broken hockey sticks, we keep them out of landfills, we turn them into oyster reefs, and along the way we do some education and job creation. So if anybody's listening and they're interested in hockey or they're interested in clean water, go to rinktoreef.org. We'd love to have your help.
Matt may have done an interview with somebody that you guys are aware of on this, and I learned quite a bit about this program. You should go to the website. You'll be surprised on what they're doing with something that is problematic to dispose of. They don't rot. They stay there forever, but they're doing something that's pretty amazing. But look into the reasons why. I think it'll shock you. It shocked me as well. But that's a great program, Matt, and we appreciate you being here tonight. Let's go to Gabs. Gabs Clark. Now, you and I know each other from running around on X a bit, but you've got a pretty heavy subject that's you're passionate about. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I run an organization called Affirming Reality, and we help people parent their children into desistance from transition. So essentially, we help parents pull their children out of the trans cult. We do this through coaching, and we provide resources and guidance for parents on how to communicate better with their children so that their children will be fully grounded and affirmed in reality.
I wouldn't know where to begin with that, but that sounds like a tough but noble mission. Thanks for volunteering tonight. Let's go to Goats. Goats is also an Xer that you'll see in X Spaces. Always has a great opinion on things. Goat, what else would you like folks to know about you?
Hey, I'm just here to check it out and hopefully offer some insight. And I appreciate the invite. And I'm just I'm out on Twitter trying to speak some truth to people. Right. That's about it. Thanks, man.
Glad to have you, my friend. Thank you. We've got Jamie. And now Jamie you may know Jamie's other half on X is Navy Guy. He's going by a different name now. I think his real name actually. But Navy Guy, who's pretty popular on X Spaces, always has a great opinion. But this is Jamie. Welcome to the show, Jamie. What would you like to tell folks about yourself? Are you with us, Jamie? Your mic's still muted?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
We've got you now.
All right. Thank you for having me. My name is Jamie, and I am a stay-at-home mother of 4. And as you know, I am married to a Navy guy. And I am just here to enjoy the show and figure out if I can put some insight into what's going on.
Thank you for volunteering. We're happy to have you. And we've got a repeater tonight. This is Jack. You may have remember he was on maybe a couple of months ago, but he's jumping in to take care of a no-show we have for tonight. But Jack, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Jack from Los Angeles, and Rink to Reef is also something I'm a part of with Matt. And I guess if Rink to Reef were to be a hockey team, I would be the goon on that hockey team, the enforcer. No talent, just eating up minutes and gooning it up. And check out the website rinktoreef.org, RINK2reef.org. It's an awesome initiative that essentially oyster reefs, they serve as habitats for diverse array of sea life, and it promotes biodiversity and environmental resilience. And then we add hockey to the mix. It's a great cause. Yep, that's it.
You might want to check out Urban Dictionary on Goon and see if that's still how you might want to refer to your position on the team. Just saying.
I don't know. I will look at that. But when I say Goon, I'm using hockeydictionary.com.
Well, I realize you are. I'm just saying you might want to take a look at that. But thanks for filling in tonight, brother. It's good to have you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Our court clerk tonight's Big Ron. He's our retired Navy veteran, as he is each week, flipping bells and the switches, keeping everything on time. Big Ron, tell folks about yourself.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. It's great to have all of our guest jurors in tonight. Gabs, I love the platform. I've got a story for you after the show. Well, Joe, it looks like we've got all the videos loaded. The clock is ready. Everybody's in their seats. The chat is going good. We're broadcasting live across the world. So let's go ahead and kick it off.
I like it. I like it. As with any good grand jury, we have our expert witness, Jason, a 30-year retired or veteran of Minnesota law enforcement, retired now. He's also the developer of the 3D Response School safety systems. Jason, tell folks what they need to know about you.
Just retired after 30 years this past June. Did school resource officer, undercover narcotics, mental health team, investigations, sergeant, lieutenant, kind of the gauntlet law enforcement, and found my passion was keeping kids safe. And about 10 years ago, we kind of put run, hide, find on steroids and made it work. And we got it patented, and now there's a bill to make it a law. And we'll see where it goes, but this should be fun.
We appreciate having you, Jason. For those of you that don't follow the show, Jason's been with us every night for the last year and every Friday night for the last year and a half, and he provides a great bit of insight on these cases that we'll look. But enough of the pleasantries. Let's get down to the rules. The first thing I want to talk about is deadly force. We're going to watch videos tonight of police, law enforcement using deadly force on citizens. Deadly force can only be used by citizen or law enforcement. There's no distinction there. To defend yourself, a third person, or in other words, another person, or the public at large. There are no other exceptions. You may not use deadly force. It is unlawful to use deadly force on another human being in the jurisdiction of the United States to apprehend them, to force them to end some sort of compliance, or to prevent them from escaping. They cannot be used in these instances. So now that we understand what deadly force is, we're going to ask you as a grand jury. A grand jury is different. A grand jury is not like a trial jury. A trial jury is what you most likely are accustomed to seeing on television and in TV series, these courtroom dramas. We have a jury of 12. Their job as a jury of 12 is to make a decision on someone's guilt or not guilty. Did the state prove their case or not? But they do that with a unanimous decision. All 12 have to agree. Otherwise, it's a hung jury. All 12 have to agree, and they have to be convinced to the point of beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a pretty high standard. In other words, you lay your head down on the pillow at night, you'll rest easily, regardless what decision you made, because whatever it was beyond a reasonable doubt in your mind. You had no more. A grand jury is not like this. A grand jury is a filter system that prevents the government from prosecuting citizens without going through this step, which is a panel of other citizens, just like a jury. This is why we call it a jury. They are selected. They live in the jurisdiction for which they'll make the decision. But unlike a trial jury, they can ask questions, and they get to ask questions and review the evidence. We ask that the jury decide using a reasonable person standard to determine if there's a probable cause to believe that the force was used was justified or not. We ask that the jury be objective and only review the evidence that's presented. Don't bring in what you saw on television or another cut or the news media's take on a case that we may have. That's not fair. It's not fair to the citizens that you're reviewing against. Honestly, it's not. We want you to just make your decision off the evidence that the state presents to you. In this case, it'll be videos tonight. We ask that you use the reasonable person standard. Remember, I said you can only use deadly force, and this is what we're asking you to decide. If deadly force is used, was it justifiable? It can only be justifiable if it was defense of yourself or a third person or the public at large. 3 cases. The 2, yourself or a third person, is in every case. It's a rare occasion where it may apply for that third leg, which is the public at large. And we'll talk about that if that pops up tonight. But let's stick to the first 2. You're defending yourself or defending a third person. The threat does not have to be real, but a reasonable person would have to perceive it to be credible. And what I mean by this is that the reasonable person we're looking for tonight is not yourself. It's not a specific individual. It's a hypothetical construct of an average person who acts with ordinary prudence and common sense. This is not a real person. But we're asking you, with the information that's going to be provided to you through way of evidence of what the actor, in this case will be police officers, what the actors had information available to them at the time, was it reasonable that they had a fear for themselves? Or they had a fear for a third person, or they had a fear for the public at large? Those are the questions we're going to ask you tonight. We're not asking you to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt like you do for a trial jury. I'm asking you to be convinced at probable cause. It's a real low standard. It literally means more likely than not a crime has occurred, and more likely than not the accused is responsible. But we'll take out the crime. We're looking at the force. Is it probable cause? Is it reasonable to believe that the actor had a reasonable fear for their life of a third person or the public at large? If your answer is yes, then you must return tonight what's called a true bill. I'm sorry, if your answer is yes, then you must return tonight what's called a no bill. That's no formal charges. The matter's going to end there. If your answer is no, that you don't believe that a credible fear existed with the information available to the actor at the time that force was used, if that answer is no, then you must return what we call a true bill. That's an indictment. That means formal charges to be filed against the defendant, and they move on into trial. Also, unlike a trial jury, a grand jury does not have to be a majority decision. I'm sorry, a unanimous decision. It can be a majority decision. 3 out of 5 votes. We have 5 members tonight. 3 out of 5 votes wins the day and makes the finding. And I'm gonna go over the findings again. The jury may have one of 2 findings tonight. True bill, which are formal charges, and you allow the matter to go on to trial. You allow the state to prosecute formal charges. No bill is no formal charges. The matter ends here. Yeah. Do we have any questions? All right, no questions, Big Ron. Let's present the first case.
Let's fire it up.
Right here. I see him, bro. We good. We gonna go there. Hey, Chris, what? Show me your fucking ass! Show me your fucking ass! Show me your fucking ass! Show me your ass! Show me your fucking ass right now! Show me your ass! Shots fired, squad! Don't fucking move! Now, bitch! Right here. I see him, bro. We good. We gonna go. We got him blocked in. Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out the fucking ass! Show me your ass! Fucking ass! Show me your ass! Show me your fucking ass right now! Show me your ass! Get down! Get out! Get down! Get down to the ground! Get down to the ground! Please, I'm shot! Please, I'm shot! Hey! Stop! Please, I'm down on the fucking ground! Like this! White shirt, northbound. you. We got an officer struck by a car of your roll EMS.
Please give me a little, please.
Give me EMS rolling. Where are you located for EMS?
We are at Chicago and Marlin right here.
Now, to be clear, you're seeing several versions of the same point in time between two units. This unit, the in-car cameras don't have any audio, but this is the body-worn camera. You see the and remember the officer saying, "We're good, bro. I see him." This is the vehicle that they were in. The driver of the vehicle was pronounced dead at the hospital. The original call was a burglary in progress, is why the officers were chasing the car. Okay, folks, that's your first case. Let's talk about any portions of the video you'd like to see again. Any questions that you may have?
It seemed to me like was it the driver that attempted to flee, or they pulled out the passenger? Is that how it happened? It was there was a lot of movement.
Would you like to see the video again?
Sure, please.
Right here, right here, right here, right here.
I see him, bro. We good. We go.
Okay, these officers are part of two units. They're in one unit, and we'll see the video of another unit that's going to come up behind the vehicle. But they're chasing the suspect vehicle. They catch him on an intersection, and they pin the vehicle in. They box him in, one in the front, one in the back. This is the driver of the vehicle that's in the front of the suspect vehicle.
Go there. Hey, crash squad! Show me your fucking ass! Show me your fucking ass! Show me your fucking.
All right, at this point, you're able to see his partner here, there in front of him, but he's circling around the car.
Fucking ass! Show me your ass! Show me your fucking ass right now! Show me.
To this officer's back is the bumper of the second car that came in to back him to box this vehicle in.
Shots fired, squad!
Thomas, where are you guys located?
So I believe you had 4 in. Driver does not get out of the vehicle. The passenger on the driver's side, rear passenger on the driver's side escapes. He gets away on foot. The other 2 on the passenger side, front and back, were taken into custody. Is everybody tracking on what we're seeing on the video?
Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't realize that there was a backseat passenger, so that was where the confusion came from.
Was the officer that fired the shots, was that the one that got pinned in the car? Pinned between the bumpers of the car?
Yeah, the only officer that fired shots was the one in the rear. And let's watch it one more time. It's going to be the driver of the vehicle the officer that's driving the vehicle that is at the front of the suspect vehicle.
Hey, Crash Squad! Show me your fucking ass! Show me your fucking ass!
So we're watching the body-worn camera of the officer that's going to ultimately or subsequently fire shots here. So as he comes around, he's circling, kind of clocking this vehicle from the passenger side from front to back.
Show me your fucking ass! Show me your fucking ass!
At this point, he is between the bumper of the suspect car and the patrol unit that boxed him in at the back. And you see where he shoots. He's the only officer that shoots.
Shots fired, squad!
So I thought I saw later in the video that because an officer got pinned between two cars, right?
I think that was
Well, there's you want to see the other view?
Yeah, I think that was one of the other views. And I thought in one of the second or third one that he was the one that fired the shot. So I'm just trying to get that deadly force thing.
Okay, here you're going to see the shooting from the angle of the second unit. Okay, do you see that?
So he backed into him, right? And that's when he shot.
That's for discussion.
Okay.
Did you see what you needed to see?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I did.
All right, Big Ron, let's put him up a clock, folks. You're gonna have 10 minutes. 10 minutes to deliberate this. And what we're asking for was the force used, in this case, deadly force. Was it reasonable? Would a reasonable person believe that their life or a third person's life was in danger, or they're add a little salt to that? Also, serious bodily injury. If you're going to be seriously injured, then you can use deadly force to prevent that from happening to you as well. But let's go to, you know what? I'm going to Goats first. Well, give me your impression on this, Goats.
Awesome. So it took me a couple times to really get the picture of it, but I saw that the officer that fired the shots was the one that got pinned between the cars. So I'm thinking if you got pinned, maybe not, life threatening, but you just added that extra of serious bodily harm, and that could be serious bodily harm. So it at least brings a question into it, I think. But I would say he was authorized.
You kind of tapered off there, and you would say what?
I was saying that I think he was justified.
So you're leaning towards a no bill. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Matt, let's go to you.
Yeah, I would lean towards a no bill as well. If I was in that position, I would eliminate that threat. And he just shot the guy that was driving the car because he still had the ability to move back and forward, and that could have potentially hurt somebody. So I agree with Goats in that way.
Let me ask you, where's the deadly force that's being used against the officer?
Getting pinned between two cars.
So the vehicle.
Yes, sir. I mean that car moved back and forward a few times before the driver was shot.
Okay, that's fair enough. Gabs, give me your initial opinion on this.
Well, I mean, I would of course say no bill, because getting pinned by a car, even if it's doesn't seem that serious, you can have lots of complications from that later on. So I mean that could potentially be a grievous injury, especially if there was some sort of femoral artery nicked or anything like that. Any of that could have happened. So he was completely justified by doing that. But I mean, he was the officer who shot, who was pinned and who shot. I mean, he did appear to already be putting himself in a worse situation than what it needed to be. He didn't even stop his vehicle when he didn't even put his vehicle in park when he got out. You know what I mean? So I would definitely still say no bill, but you know, and I understand that these are high charged events, but you know, I don't know. I think that's notable.
That he didn't put his car in park, that's notable.
Yes, it is. He didn't put his car in park, so he's obviously not as concerned about his own safety or the safety of the people around him before he's making decisions. He had every right, of course, to open fire when he was pinned in that spot where he was. But I certainly do think he could have handled it better so that he wouldn't have been in that situation.
Okay. What about, do you have any intent? Do you think the driver in the deceased driver, do you think that driver was trying to run that cop over?
Well, I think he was trying to get out any way that he could.
He was just trying to get away, right?
He was trying to get out.
He didn't intend to hurt the officer.
Well, I mean, nobody necessarily intends to hurt anybody until it's happening, you know, in a lot of these high tension situations. But, you know, if all things are being equal, I would say that that doesn't even matter. He was hurting someone, and he was doing dangerous things that would have and did cause bodily injury, major bodily injury.
So that checks the box for you.
Yes.
Bill. Okay. Jack, break it down for me.
All right, so a couple of things that I noticed. First of all, the suspects were fleeing. They were being chased by the second car, the second set of video, the officer cameras that we saw. So they were trying to flee. One thing I would like to note is the street was a very narrow street. So when they came out in front of him, they were not only was he boxed in, as he tried to go through, from the side, there was no room. So they crashed the car. Now, I say that because I don't think there was any intent whatsoever on the part of the driver to hurt the officer. I think the screaming's happening. They're trying to get away. He might not even notice that the officer is behind him because the other one was still standing, pointing a gun at the driver's side window or passenger side window. Having said that, the officer that's behind doesn't know that he's getting pinned. So while I don't think there was any intention on the part of the driver at that time to hurt or kill the officer, I don't think that matters. It's no bill for me 100% because the officer has a split second to make a decision, and if he makes the wrong decision, he doesn't get to go home. So for me, it's a no bill.
Jamie, give us your thought.
I'm gonna have to say no bill. Even after being cornered by the cops, he was still trying to escape, which could have injured any one of the officers that were there. He did not comply. If he would have just shown his hands, he probably wouldn't have been in that situation, nor if he would have not committed the crime, he wouldn't have been in that situation. And the fact that the police officers could not see whether or not he even had a weapon, the police officers could have been shot and they would have not known. So I'm going to say no bill.
Very good. Is everyone standing on where we're at? I think everyone is at a no bill. Going once, going twice. All right, Matt, give it to me. True bill or no bill? What's your vote?
No bill.
One no bill. Gabs, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Two no bills. Goats, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Goats brings us home 3 out of 5. Jamie, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Jack, true bill?
No bill for me.
There we go. No bill. Post the verdict. Very good. Jason, what'd you think about that? Now, this is Chicago PD. What'd you think about that?
I thought they did a good job. You have a burglary car full of suspects dressed in all black. That this is somebody who just committed a serious felony, and it's a public safety issue. A vehicle is considered a weapon, and you charge a cop with a car, whether front or back, intent or not, it doesn't matter. That's a dangerous that's a deadly weapon and deadly force is justified. So the jury got it right.
I agree. I think the jury did get that right. But that's the first one. Just letting you guys know, we let the first one. It's easy. The first one's easy. So let's go to case number 2. See if they get more difficult.
Due to the graphic nature of this video, viewer discretion is advised.
911. I need you guys at 223 21st Street. A young lady's in my house with a gun. She's trying to shoot me in my mom. What's the address? It's 223 East 21st Street, apartment 12. Please, Lord, she has my grandson with a gun to his head. Please, please, please.
Dear baby? Okay, hold on. Hold on. What is she wearing? Hold on. What is she wearing? I know. What is she wearing?
She's the only girl in there.
She's outside of the apartment complex?
No, she's inside of my apartment.
Okay, is she on drugs or anything?
See, there she goes.
Let me see your hands!
Sorry, she's pointing the fire and nothing, and she's back inside the apartment. Please get her out.
Watch this, Jason.
Drop the gun! Drop it! Drop it! Come here, baby! Come here! Come here! Right! Move it! Got it! I got it. Hey, everybody clear the rest of the house? You okay, buddy? Are you all right?
All right, folks, that's your case number 2. This was a domestic disturbance turned hostage call. The first responding officer arrives. The reporting person was the lady on the side of the street. She's the lady who made the 911 call, said that her daughter has a gun to her grandson's head. The responding officer waited until backup arrived. You saw one attempt at the door. You saw the second attempt at the door with the arrival, I think, of the 4th officer. He gets it right, goes inside. What he finds inside is the mother standing above her 3-year-old son with a gun to his head. And you saw the officer's response. Any portion of this video that you'd like to see again?
Who was the dude they walked out? There was another male in there.
He was another hostage.
Okay.
Can we see the video again when he enters? I didn't see a gun. That's why I'm asking.
Drop the gun! Drop it! Come here, baby! Come here!
I don't know that you're going to see it on a body-worn cam, the gun, and they're blurring out. By the way, folks, if you hadn't picked up what's happening here, that was the child's mother holding a gun to the child when they made entry, and police just shot his mother in front of him. So that's a whole thing.
Can I ask Jason a question? Or anybody, really?
Yeah, sure. What's your question?
if you were involved in a similar circumstance,
No, you can't ask that
what is the protocol to go in? No,
You can't ask that question. You can ask what the protocol exigent circumstances to make entry, if that's what we're talking about.
yeah, that's what I want to know. Because and the reason I'm asking is because you don't have eyes inside, and there's gun to a child's head. I'm just trying to understand the decision to go in the way that they went in.
You can enter a home without a search warrant if there's an exigent circumstance in place. One of those being a domestic situation where you think somebody, if you don't make entry, somebody's could be killed or hurt seriously. That's one exigent circumstance.
No. And my question was more the fact that you don't know if attempting to break in would trigger, no pun intended, the mother to kill her child because you don't have eyes, or I'm assuming there's no eyes in the room. That's why, not the warrant, but the fact that she has her own child is holding her own child hostage.
Well, let me ask you, what's the alternative to not kicking the door?
I don't know. I'm asking to understand what the reasoning is. I guess it would depend on a case by case.
Uvalde would be the alternative. You just sit and wait and see what the crook's going to do when they have hostages at gunpoint.
No, and I'm not saying I disagree with them kicking the. I'm just trying to understand what the protocol is, because.
Well, we're not talking about protocol. Let's get back on track. Remember, the only question we're asking was the force justifiable or not.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions on the video, or any more questions for Jason?
Yeah, I've got a question. There were 6 shots fired, 3 and then 3. Did all of them hit the individual, or were I don't know?
No one else was injured except for the suspect. I don't know how many rounds actually made their mark, but the suspect died of wounds.
So she was shot 3 times, and I assume she still was holding the gun. That's what I understood from the video?
What I hear in the video is the officer continued to give commands to drop the gun, and then he fires a second volley of fire.
Okay.
Big Ron, let's go o'clock. All right, Jack, I'm coming to you first, Mr. Protocols and that kind of business. What's your initial impression on this?
My initial impression is the number one priority is to save that child, and I think that's ultimately what was done. My question was just to understand, how they came to that decision in that moment. But for me, when you have a situation where a mother is holding her own 3-year-old at gunpoint, somebody doing that is capable of doing, and is definitely a threat. She's a threat to her own child's life. She's a threat to yours for sure, and she's armed. Yeah, 100% no bill. I wish they had another clip to unload into her.
No bill. Seems like Jack's leaning. Jamie, which way are you going?
I'm gonna have to go with no bill on this one. Just the fact that, one, she didn't even comply to drop the gun, and there's a child. Child's lives comes first. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna say no bill.
So, I mean, nobody even tried to talk to her a little bit or anything.
Well, the cop told her to drop the gun, and she obviously did not drop the gun. Even though you swore it out, clearly the other 3 shots wouldn't have been fired if she had dropped the gun. But that child's life was in danger, and if she, I agree with Jack, if she was willing to hold the gun to her own son's head at 3 years old, she would be willing to do anything to any one of those officers in the room.
Okay. Defended yourself pretty well with that. Goats, where are you at with this one?
Man, so I'm on my phone, and you guys I heard you talking about laptops earlier, and you probably see these videos a lot better, huh? I, even zooming in on it, I could not really see what was happening on the other side of that room. I couldn't even really see that she was holding a gun to the head. I mean, but I think that's just because I, don't have a big screen to look at. So I don't know what to really give for this one. Because I just couldn't see it well enough. You know what I mean?
Okay, well let's do grand jury class 101. When you see evidence, let me find your mute there, Goats.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Oh, check.
you're not only going to see evidence. Remember, these aren't shot on a soundstage where they're going to give you every angle and answer every question for you and give you the foreboding music and everything before something bad happens, like in a movie. This is real life. You may get it, you may not, but you're going to rely on your other senses. What did you hear? What did you see in the reaction to other people as to what was going on? And I would say in this case, I think a good example of it is the officers kicked the door. They believe something. They believe what they've been told, that there's a child in there being held at gunpoint. They kick the door in. He announces, drop the gun. He shoots and then announces, drop the gun again. You would have to, if you say that I can't make a decision because I didn't actually see the gun to the child's head, you would have to assume that within seconds, this guy conspired to say these things to manipulate the audio tape. So what I'm actually saying is that take a look and listen to other things that are going on in these videos, and that's how you'll arrive to something to answer a question for yourself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I got you, and I mean, I definitely did hear those other things, and I mean, so I would agree that, I mean, gun to a kid's head, I mean, you take no chances there. So I mean, I would lean with.
Leaning on no bill?
I would lean the no bill. Yeah.
All right, Gabs, where you at on this one?
I don't care what the situation is. If you're holding a child hostage, I don't care if it's your child, somebody else's child, I don't care what the situation is. The immediate response is to eliminate the threat. And the child was crying when it was in its mother's arms, and it stopped when it wasn't. When he wasn't. So, you know, it appeared that the child was in extreme distress and fear with the mother. And when he was taken away from the mother and set down,
Gabs, the question is, did you think that the officers had a credible fear for that child's life?
Yes, because I think that that was credible, because like I said, if a cop walks in and there's a screaming child sitting on his mother's lap and seeing a woman with what could appear to be a gun, and even if we can't see it, I think that right there is enough of a reason to open fire, especially after giving commands and she did not comply, and there's a clear threat. So it's put down the threat.
I get you. I mean, that's really the basics of it. If that officer had a credible fear for that child's life, then he
yes,
had
that's
the
what I'm
right
saying. Yeah.
authority to use deadly force to protect that child's life. So
Yes, the child was in clear distress. You know, the child was screaming and crying before the shots ever even went off.
Is screaming and crying the real standard there?
No, the screaming and crying isn't necessarily the standard, but I mean, as a mother myself, my own child is not going to be screaming and crying while I'm holding it. None of them, you know what I mean? Like, not like that. Kicking the door in and seeing a woman holding a weapon at or around a child with the intent to use it, or previously saying that they had the intent to use it. It is safer to put down the threat. So no bill.
Got you on the no bill. Matt, give it to us, sir.
Well, I think based on the 911 call, and then kicking the door in, and under the standard of credible threat to a third person, I would have to go no bill, especially considering he shot 3 times and it sounds like she still didn't relinquish the weapon. That's how I'm leaning.
All right, let's go back to it. Jack, true bill, no bill?
No bill.
1 no bill. Jamie, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Goats, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
No bill's going to take it again. Gabs, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Matt, true bill, no bill?
No bill.
Second case, no bill, no formal charges. Jason, what you think? That's a rough one there, isn't it? What do you think about that one?
For the second week in a row, I'm giving the Medal of Merit to that cop that kicked the door in and just took care of business. That he did a phenomenal job. Saved a kid's life.
Folks, you saw the first kick at the door. The officer kind of went at it sideways and did, I don't know what kind of kick he did, but that second kick that officer did, if you're going to take a door down, that's exactly the way you do it. Put the heel in there just below the doorknob and step into it. And that door is either going to come open or you're going to have to donkey kick it to get open. But that guy that was a Hollywood job there, man. Perfect kick, walks in the door and then handles his business within just a couple of seconds. I liked it. That's the other thing about kicking doors is you can't half kick a door. You can't test it out. If you're going to kick it, man, you got to give it all you got or you're just wasting time.
Yeah, that first kick was kind of, what are you doing? And I like the other guy came in when you said to watch this, actually started laughing like, that's how you do it, you dumbass. But I'm sure they had a little chuckle at the police station after that.
Oh, I would. I'd still be talking to that guy about that. You quit karate kicking my doors, dude. You got to put your hoof into it. I tell you what, folks, let's talk about the Range Minded podcast. Range is a follower of ours on X, or we follow each other, I should say, mutuals even. But he's up for a Gundy this year as the micro content producer of the year. He does lots of 2A minded court cases. He keeps you up with gunsmithing and guncraft. But we follow him. We want you to follow him too. Big Ron, let's show a little bit about the Range Minded podcast.
Have you ever wondered to yourself, man, what time does the store close? Or where's the best cheeseburger near me? Well, I'm not going to answer those questions. That's what your damn phone is for. Use that. Instead, if you have stuff related, to the 2A world, I'm your man. My name's Steve. I run the Range Minded podcast. On the podcast, we talk about all things Second Amendment, whether it be new guns or gear. Maybe we talk about some training. We'll dig into Washington and the shenanigans they get up to. Sometimes we talk about the Supreme Court and the crap that they're doing. It's always a good time, a little smorgasbord of the 2A, if you don't mind me using that narrative. Either way, you can find us whether on YouTube or Rumble, Range Minded Podcast. I'm also on all sorts of streaming services, wherever you listen to your podcast, Range Minded Podcast. You can jump on the website, rangemindedpodcast.com. Maybe stop by, buy a patch and some other things. There you can link to the social medias and all that other stuff. Hope to see you there. It's always a good time. Anyways, you guys have fun, stay safe, and always stay range-minded. See you guys soon.
No, for sure, folks. Go to rangemindedpodcast.com, buy a patch, see them on any place they have podcasts, subscribe. It does more than you think. Same thing for our YouTube channel. If you watch on YouTube, give us a subscribe. Hit the notifications. You'll see when we're live each week. It does more than you think it does, and we do appreciate it. With that, Big Ron, I think we're on case number 3. Is that right?
That would be correct. Case number 3 coming up.
Let's run it.
Northeast Patrol Division officers were responding to the 6100 block of Piedmont Avenue to assist fellow officers in establishing a perimeter for a felony warrant suspect. As they were traveling northbound on Figueroa Street from Woodside Drive with their emergency lights and sirens on, they crashed with a pedestrian who was riding a skateboard southbound on Figueroa in the center median.
Christian Bailey, remember? I don't know if or not, but I know a guy in a white arrested him a while back. Oh, okay. He was like into like the whole legal theft, like kind of like stealing. Yeah, he's more like a thief. Yeah. That's all that. Oh, God. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Fuck me! That's all that. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Fuck me! Oh shit! 11X97, can I have an IR respond to Woodside and Figueroa for Officer TC involved?
X97 is requesting a...
He's over here! He's over here!
It was male, not conscious, not breathing, subject from TC collision with vehicle. Then also have a super responder in the T unit.
Verify not conscious, not breathing.
Roger, not conscious, not breathing.
Let me move the car, bro.
Yeah.
Let me block the street, bro.
Oh, shit, dude.
Oh, fuck. Fuck me.
Oh, dude. The next time some camera, I respond to what side you can go. Involved.
Fuck.
Where's he at?
11X97 is requesting a correction. 11X97 goes to Woodside and Figueroa, DC above. One information
relax,
for the
man.
RA.
You're male, not conscious, not breathing, suffering from basic collision with vehicle. You also have a super responder.
Verify not conscious, not breathing.
Roger, not conscious, not breathing. Yeah.
Let me block.
Yeah, go for it.
11X97 is requesting a T unit and a supervisor for DC involved Woodside and Figueroa, instant 4035.
I know, hold on, man, wait. X97, can we also get a district unit response code 3?
11X97 requesting a district unit code.
Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics responded to the scene and, despite life-saving measures, pronounced Estrada deceased shortly thereafter. The LAPD Traffic Coordination Division MSIT team was notified of the vehicle crash resulting in the death of Estrada and responded to the location to conduct this major traffic crash investigation.
All right, folks, that's case number 3. Any portion of the video you'd like to see again?
I want to see the first part again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we see the first part?
The in-car camera?
Yes.
No, what they were responding to. The description of what they were. I was interested in seeing what they were responding to. Thank you.
Northeast Patrol Division officers were responding to the 6100 block of Piedmont Avenue to assist fellow officers in establishing a perimeter for a felony warrant suspect. As they were traveling northbound on Figueroa Street from Woodside Drive with their emergency lights and sirens on, they crashed with a pedestrian who was riding a skateboard southbound on Figueroa in the center median.
Yeah, Christian Bailey, remember? Yeah, he's a little ass. I don't know tell him working on it, but I know a guy in Ohio arrested him a while back. Oh, okay. He was like into like the whole legal theft, like kind of like stealing. Yeah, he's more like a thief. Yeah.
Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Fuck me!
Did that answer your question, or did you see what you needed to see?
I did.
Anyone else? Does anyone else have a question or a portion of the video they want to see?
What is the question here?
Well, let's get to that. Jason, do you want to kind of explain officers when they're running code 3, what they can and cannot do necessarily? And I don't mean by a policy, but legally.
You still have to drive with due care.
That is correct. When you're running code, you can disregard traffic control devices, stop signs, red lights, and things like that. You can exceed the posted speed limit. You can even maneuver through lanes, but you have to do it with due care because you're still responsible, if that makes sense. You're still responsible for accidents that could occur. You running code is not immunity to causing a traffic accident. So in this case, we're really going to be looking at whether the officer was reckless and did he drive with due care for the citizen traffic around him.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I need to know, or if maybe someone can answer, but I need to understand why the speeding was so necessary.
Well, that would be a department policy question there. If you're just saying, well, they weren't going to a call that required a code 3 response. I don't know that that's a question we're going to answer here tonight. We're going to look at careless and did they drive with due care for the people around them.
Joe, can we see the moment, just a few seconds leading up to the accident itself again?
The in-car video?
Yes, sir.
And who was riding a skateboard south.
Yeah, Christian Bailey, remember? Yeah, he's a little last season. I don't know call him or not, but I know Guy and Elvira wrestling him a while back. Oh, okay. He was like into like the whole legal theft, like kind of like stealing. Yeah, he's more like a thief. Yeah. That's all that. Oh,
Okay. On this road, if you notice in the satellite photos, there's a park or open area to the right. Looks like there's a carnival or some sort of event going on there. It's a neighborhood to the left, if that helps out anything. Any questions? Actually, I'm going to go to you one more time, Jason. Would there be a good reason for him to be in the middle of the road with pedestrian traffic?
No. Not that I can think of.
I know that I would get away from, if I've got pedestrian side parking where people are walking out among cars, I would pick the furthest lane away from that. But either way, that's where we're at. Due care is what we're looking for. And honestly, were the officers careless and did they disregard the public's safety at large while they were driving code 3? Any questions? Big Ron, throw us a clock. Gabs, I'm coming to you first.
I heard you say that in my head. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is reckless. There was an empty street. There were no cars coming or going when this happened. He drove up on the side one time. No. You still have to pay attention to the road. And lights and sirens on, all of that stuff. And if he's moving really quickly, it would be impossible for a pedestrian to get out of the street in time. So you still have to pay attention to the people around you, especially since there is a carnival type situation going on the right hand side. Of course, there are going to be people. I mean, the sides had cars parked up and down. Then that means be extra careful.
Do you think that he showed caution there by moving to the center lane there?
No, it doesn't show caution. It shows indifference. It's like he could have driven on the left side and maintain a reasonable speed until he got out of that area. Because there are you can't rush to a scene for one crime and then create a scene on the way. You know what I mean? You still have to maintain some sort of
I'm telling you, the officer has a duty.
He does have a duty, but he also has a duty to not hit people when he's driving. Like that. I mean, and skateboarding on the street and all of that stuff and crossing in the middle of the street is not a good idea. But as far as I know, it's not necessarily illegal in every place. I don't know where this is, but and it's dusk. It's, that could have been a kid. You know what I mean?
I know what it could have been, but that's not what we're deciding.
Well, I know, but
Talking about what happened.
I'm looking at what it is.
No,
what
you
it
can't.
is.
You need to look at what it is and not what it could have been.
I know I'm looking at what it is. What it is a police officer disregarded traffic rules and drove in the middle of the street because he wanted to get to where he was going to without any regard to the people that were in the vicinity of the area.
So you don't think he practiced due care?
No, I do not think he practiced due care.
Matt, what do you think?
The reason I asked to see that again, those last few seconds, was trying to figure out whether or not he was going around other vehicles, and there were no vehicles coming or going. I understand there was a carnival to the right, but he very easily could have traveled down the left. There were 2 lanes. He could have traveled down the left lane and used due care. Now I don't know whether or not that individual on the skateboard in the median, whether he was jaywalking, or I'm not even sure that matters in this particular case. He probably shouldn't have been there, but I'm not sure the duty of care was exercised.
Gotcha. You're lining up with Gabs on that one. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go to Jamie.
I'm not gonna lie, this one was kind of tough, but I'm gonna have to say Truebill. I think that the driver, my personal opinion, he was being reckless and he was speeding, and there was no reason for him to be driving in the median in the first place, because they said that there was no cars on the road, and I would want to more investigate as to what they were even driving to, because they just said felony arrest. It didn't seem like it was an immediate danger. So even though the kid probably shouldn't have been in the middle of the road, they shouldn't have been in the middle of the road either.
And it was a grown man. It wasn't a child that was hit. Thank goodness.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, grown man on a skateboard should not have been in the middle of the road either.
Okay, Goats, where are you at on this one?
I think I'm leaning right along with everybody else so far. Pedestrians always have the right of way, as far as I know. Windy road, no clear line of sight, long term, right? The carnival on the right side, the neighborhood that they were going through, went through. I believe the first stoplight was, I believe their traffic was stopped. And there was no cross traffic, but he didn't even slow down. He didn't even slow down going through that first intersection. And usually you see even a serious, they're going to slow down a little bit and look on that intersection before they just fly through. I ain't seen many cops just fly through an intersection like that.
Well, he had a green light on. He went around stationary traffic, but he had a green light on that light that he went through.
The first one?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So take out that factor. I think the other factors that I mentioned there are enough still to go true, in my opinion.
So you're leaning towards a true bill as well, huh?
Yes, sir.
Very well, Jack. Give it to us.
No bill all the way. I'll tell you why. Number one, skateboarders should not have been in the middle of the street. That's not a crime, but he shouldn't have been there. That's a tragedy. Next reason, the officer, they did show due care. Actually, I disagree. They completely slowed down in that first intersection and cleared it and then sped up again. You can hear the engine revving. You can hear the engine quieting down, and then you hear the engine revving back up. So they absolutely showed due care with that. And then you said there was a carnival on the right. There's a residential neighborhood on the left. The center divider would be, in my opinion, the safest place in that instance for the officers to travel at, because they don't know when a car is going to be coming the opposite side. So you don't want to go, opposite side traffic. It was a windy road leading up to it. So center divider would be the furthest away from both sides of the street where there's going to be pedestrians potentially. You know, they were responding code 3. In LA, LAPD has code 2, which is, you know, respond without your lights. And then there's code 2A, which is it's more of an emergency, but you still don't respond with your lights. So they got from dispatch code 3. They have to respond code 3. Again, it's an accident. It's tragic, but 100% no bill for me, all things considered. And this happened recently, and it was not too far away from me.
You're right. It happened very recently. Okay. Did Jack persuade anyone? Does anybody want to talk about Jack's point on this, that it's a no bill? Skateboarders shouldn't have been there, and he believes the officers did exercise what he could observe as due care.
Can I ask Jason a question?
Sure.
Is driving down the middle of the road showing due care?
It's situational based. It could be, but.
And I don't know that I can let Jason answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're essentially asking him to which way would you go on?
No. That's I just
yeah.
Forgive me.
And I think that disregarding stop signs, disregarding red lights, traffic control devices, and speed limits under Code 3, I think all those violations happen every day, and that it's okay, and that officers are allowed to do that. It's well within their authority if they're responding to an emergency in that code level. But I will say that you can't do this without operating due care. That is slowing down before you go through you run a red light. It's not just balls to walls, get out of my way. If I hit you, too bad, so sad. In this situation, I don't know. You guys have you've got to make the determination. Did you see enough due care in this operation of this motor vehicle under Code 3 to say that this is no crime? But we're down to the last 58 seconds, so let's get back to some votes. I'm going to come to you first, Gabs. True bill, no bill.
True bill.
One true bill. Matt, true bill, no bill.
It's a little bit of a coin flip for me, but I feel like he could have been traveling in that left lane and avoided the situation. So I'll go true bill.
Two true bills. Goats, true bill or no bill?
I think I'm still going to go true. True bill.
3 true bills is going to win the day. Jamie, true bill, no bill.
I understand it was a tragic accident, but I'm still going to have to go with true bill.
Very well. Jack, true bill or no bill?
No bill. Can I change everyone's answer to no bill as well?
No.
Only in Democrat cities, which we're not in one. Sorry.
No bill for me.
That's going to be a true bill. That's going to be the first indictment of the night. Okay. Now, Jason, I'll untie your hands and you can talk about this one. Folks, I had to be careful on how Jason answers some of these questions because it absolutely would influence you. And we wanted to hear where your feet stood and not lean on Jason's. But Jason, tell us what you think about this.
So I was putting myself back in my lieutenant days, kind of looking at this going, the one thing that bothered me was the lack of attention to the road when they were driving, just having a conversation. That I don't know why, but that bothered me. Like when you're going Code 3, it's 10 and 2. You're slowing down, even if a green light, you're slowing down for intersections. Yeah, jaywalking is a crime, but in the same breath, one of the jurors said this, you're not going to help anybody if you don't get there. And knowing that your environment, there's a carnival off to your right, you're in a residential area. They came up on that. I mean, this kid or this guy popped out of nowhere quick. So I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I think they did not drive with due care. And I have a massive problem with how they responded. Just my 2 cents.
Go
ahead.
Sorry, Jason. So I'm curious. Knowing there's a carnival on the right side and that it's residential on the left side, and it's oncoming traffic potentially, and considering that if you look at if you watch the video again, I distinctly noticed that the engine quiets down, and then you hear it accelerating again. It's clear, significant, so you can tell that they slowed down, and you can even see that they slowed down. So they were showing due care. Yeah, they were conversing, but they cleared that first intersection, and then yes, it's dusk, and the other officer was paying attention too, because you could see that the passenger officer, he reacts just at the same time. But there's no time to swerve or get out of the way. It happens so quickly. Wouldn't the center be in this particular case where you would think that it's the safest to drive, all things considered? Because
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, Jack. It came up so quick was because they're going so fast.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe the guy's deaf. He doesn't hear the sirens. I mean, who the hell knows who's out in public? But in that environment, I've been to a few of these where an officer has struck a pedestrian going code 3. There's no intent whatsoever. But these cops have problems. I didn't personally like it. I would have never driven that way in that environment.
I guess because LA has, I don't know if all departments have 2 and 2A codes, but because of that, the 2A sort of changes things a bit for me, because a 2A call is still an emergency call technically, but you don't no sirens, no lights, but you're going straight there, and you're probably speeding as well, but it's not as I guess urgent. But so there's a category there, and I guess maybe that's changing things a bit for me, because it was a code 3. You listen to some of the dispatch, you're getting like limited information. It's a code 3. But
you're getting in the weeds with policy on whether they should or shouldn't. The simple question here: did you see due care in the operation of the motor vehicle? I did. And I think let me sum this up. I think if I put on my supervisor lenses and looked at this, I don't know how I would have decided on it, because I'm with Jason too. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. Reduction of speed through that area was probably the correct due care. But the law doesn't say your due care has to be correct. It says you must exercise it. But yet I can see a demonstration what I believe to be due care. He did move. He wasn't in the center line, which is an expanded turn lane line. It's wide, right? It's almost like another lane. He didn't pick that until he come up on the area that's by the park, where you see the line of rides and things for a carnival there. So I can see me drifting to give me a little distance and a little wag room if anybody were to step out between 2 cars. But at the same time, the proper thing is probably reduce your speed. But I think I do see some due care there. So I agree. I'm not wrong. I'm not sideways with your guys' decision. I just say that I think I could make an argument that he did exercise due care, maybe ineffective, but he did exercise due care.
I would disagree with that, because if it's a turn, if it's the median is there for cars to be able to turn in and turn out, and it could have. I mean,
you're running code 3. You're running code 3. Your traffic laws don't matter to you anymore. Now my law is exercise due care.
That's what I'm saying. So even exercising due care in that particular instance wouldn't necessarily mean that you absolutely, that would be the best practice. I think the best practice would stay at the same lane.
The standard's not best practice.
Left lane.
The standard's not best practice. The standard is observable due care.
Well, that's what I mean. Exercising observable due care. I think in this particular instance, the best practice would be to stay in the left lane with no cars and with no cars on the road coming or going. The potential for running into something it didn't have to be a pedestrian. It could have been another car in the median trying to make a turn. And so if you're speeding, hang on, listen to me.
Well, I got to move on. I got to move on. I got other cases. My point is that it's not the right care. The probably right thing to do through there, because it's heavily congested, is just slow down. Slow down so that you can maintain a safe speed in case you have to stop. I think that'd be the proper course there. But let's talk about where we at on our promos. We've only gotten one. We've missed a couple of there. Big Ron, you producing or sleeping?
Oh, I'm doing both.
That's great. Let's talk about Drax's Pit. Folks on X, if you don't catch Drax's live stream and companion space on Saturday nights, you're missing out. Drax is probably one of the most entertaining spaced hosts that I go to, and he's got a live stream that he does with Kay Daly, and they might even be watching this tonight. I thought I saw Kay pop up a couple of times with some witty comments, but these guys are on the ball. It's your Saturday night. Catch them, and here's some Drax.
As liberals go crazy and throw their fits, come on down to Drax's Pit. Yeah, it's Drax's Pit.
That's how, as Drax says, if you can't be bad, be good. But catch them folks on Saturday night. I want to say it's 9 o'clock Eastern, so maybe 10 o'clock or 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. But not hard to find on X. Put in Drax, D-R-A-X, and you find him, give him a follow. Same with Kate Daly. Great folks and very entertaining to watch and listen to. All right, Big Ron, let's get to case 4.
You want to talk about some barbecue first?
Yeah, we can. Actually, let's go to case 4.
The initial investigation revealed that at approximately 3:30 p.m., troopers with Troop C initiated a traffic stop on the 2023 Ford F-150 at the intersection of Louisiana Highway 20 and Bull Run Road. The driver, 46-year-old Jonah Parfait, and the passenger, 31-year-old Darian Rife, both of Houma, were suspects in an illegal narcotics investigation.
CP has the vehicle stopped at Wilson's off of 20.
All right, he's taking off down Bull Run Road. Region 2 in pursuit of a Ford Raptor gray heading towards 311 on Bull Run Road. He's excess of 100 miles an hour. We'll be coming up to the end shortly if we could get a drone on standby. Bail, 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 bail.
I'm chasing the driver. I mean, passenger. You get back up the road. Hey, I will chase the piss out of you if you don't stop. I'm gonna chase the piss out of you if you don't stop.
Yo, let me talk. I got shots fired. Suspect down. He's got a gun on him. Give me a unit so we can go clear this fella and start giving him medical aid. Yeah, he had a gun in his hand. He pointed it at me.
Drop the mag.
I don't know where it's at.
Okay.
All right, let's approach and see if we can locate that firearm.
Break and turn left on the dojo. Northbound 660.
It's in his hand.
Gun's in his hand.
All right.
Gun's in his hand.
Hold cover.
Stand by.
Hold cover. I'll take it from his hand.
Hold on.
Unit, northbound 660.
Gun's in his hand. Gun's in his hand.
Finger on the
Hang
trigger.
on the trigger.
All right. Put me 660 at 3087. Yeah, well, coming up to you quickly.
Hold on.
I'm not here in a second. I'm not going to have time to set up spikes.
Clear.
Right on 3087. Towards 315.
Hey, just drop it. Clear the other hand. Just drop it.
The great state of Louisiana is going to be your fourth case. All right. Any portion of the video you'd like to see again? Any questions that you may have?
Why didn't he tase him like he said he was going to? I mean, that's just not a question, but
Maybe we'll talk about that in deliberations.
yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Okay. If no portions of the video you'd like to see or any more questions, Big Ron, let's post a clock up. All right, Goats, let's go to you first. What's your opinion on this video?
This is a tough one. Because he is from what we see, he's running away. But I mean, you know, before they showed the close up of the gun, I was really concerned because I was thinking that we weren't going to see it at all. But they did pull it from his hand, and they showed that. Man, the running away thing though. I think I'm leaning true right now. Just
Was he running away when the officer shot him?
well,
I tell you what, I'm going to pause you. Matt, let's go to you. What do you think on this video?
I didn't see the gun in either hand when he climbed through that cattle gate, and that means he probably pulled it out when he was being pursued. And based on the standards you laid out earlier, I believe that officer probably was concerned for his life.
Do you think, from what you saw, was the suspect that was shot, was he fleeing when he was shot? Was he running away when the officer shot him?
I couldn't see that in the video. He was running, but we didn't actually see him get shot.
Tell you what, Big Ron, pause the clock. Let's go back and look at this.
Give me a unit. Excess of 100 miles an hour. Going on standby.
I'm taking the driver. I mean, passenger. You get back up the road. Hey, I will chase the piss out of you if you don't stop. I'm gonna chase the piss out of you if you don't stop.
I believe he's got a taser in his hand there, doesn't he? Right there. See that yellow?
yes, I saw that too.
So he's got a taser in his hand. The guy's running at this point. Guy's on the ground right now.
I'm gonna chase the piss out of you if you don't stop. I'm gonna chase the piss out of you if you don't stop.
So are you thinking he got into some kind of prone position to try and fire back? Is that?
That's not what I said at all. I said he wasn't running when he was shot. He'd gone to the ground. Whether he had fallen, don't know why he went to the ground, but he wasn't running when he was shot.
Interesting.
Let's go to Gabs.
I just started eating some candy. You know what?
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, I know you know what I'm doing over here.
I can go to Jack if you like.
I'm not. I can do it. Um, and he stopped, turned around with the weapon and with the intent to kneel and aim. And in my view, that's a FAFO offense and no bill. That's how you get deaded. I mean, if he said he was going to tase him, he knew that he couldn't outrun the taser. So it looked like to me, he stopped, kneeled to get in a good position to fire. And that is
So you believe it'd be reasonable to use deadly force?
Reasonable to use deadly force. That's right.
Very
Joe,
good.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but were all the shots fired by the officer in question?
Yes. No rounds were fired by the suspect.
I saw that comment too that said something about one fired from the suspect.
No rounds fired from the suspect. They were all fired from the officer.
You don't have to wait for somebody to get the drop on you before you defend yourself. He pulled out a deadly weapon. The cop saw it, and he acted accordingly.
Okay. Jamie, give me your assessment.
I'm gonna have to go with no bill. He didn't comply. He ran, and as soon as that cop saw that gun, he was in danger, and he neutralized the threat.
Very well. Jack, your opinion, sir.
With no bill for me. I mean, I almost went true bill because I think he was saying I'm going to tase the frick out of you twice just for that. But jokes aside, no bill for a number of reasons. One, initially when they were at the gas station, them like they had him at they were trying to get him out of the car. They were giving him lawful orders, and they could have ran the cop over. That was reckless endangerment right there, and willingness to to use a deadly weapon, that being the car at the time, or the truck rather. You hear him clearly screaming, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you. I agree with Matt when he was jumping over the fence thingy. There was nothing visible in his hand, so he obviously pulled it out because when he was in early stages of rigor mortis, he had his finger on the trigger, which is, it's not just in his hand. His finger was on the trigger. He was attempting to shoot. And he was down before the cop shot the first shot. And so that obviously means that there's no reason for him, unless he tripped and fell. We didn't see that. That could be a possibility. But again, finger on the trigger, that tells me that he was at least trying to shoot at the officer. The officer didn't yell gun because there's no reason for him to yell gun. He was by himself. I believe his partner stayed back, went after the truck, if I'm not mistaken. So all things considered, despite the fact that he said frick instead of fuck, no bill.
I think I got no bill out of all that. Goats, where you at with this one?
I think this just to push a little bit back there. This is the exact reason you might yell gun, just to alert the people that are going to watch it at some point that you did actually see a gun. And my general thoughts on most of this is, you may not deserve to die, but you have given up your right to live when you get in these situations. But I'm trying to kind of be a little more to the rules about it. He said, stop or I'm going to tase you. And the guy stopped. Right. But we don't really know. But if he had the gun in his hand and the finger on the trigger, I think I'm going to change and go with the no bill is the cops okay, right? No.
Yeah, no bill would end. The matter would end with this panel.
And this is also right. To say true bill, that means they're going to trial, right? Not that we deemed them guilty.
No, you're not finding guilt or innocence or not guilty. You're just saying that, state, you have enough probable cause to take this to trial and continue on.
Okay.
Or
Right.
you could say no bill, no state. You don't have the probable cause. This is clear. Back away.
I think that's something to think about too, that it's just, if you say true, that just means they're going to trial, not that they're absolutely guilty.
It means the document that the file that the prosecutor presents to the grand jury is called a bill. So if you think the bill is true, then you say this is true. Let it go. No, it's not true. Don't let it go.
I'm going to go no bill.
All right, I got a no bill from you, Matt. True bill, no bill.
No bill.
2 no bills. Jamie, true bill or no bill?
No, Bill. Don't ever point a gun at a cop.
Boy, that's 3 that'll win the day. Jack, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Gabs, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Unanimous, no bill. Nobody said anything about Jason. What do you think about how many times he shot that guy? He shot him way too many times. Nobody even brought that up.
You shoot until a threat's done. But just to rip on Jack a little bit, if he was running down the middle of the road, I think it'd be a bill.
That's not a road. there was no cross traffic.
I had to say it.
There was no. If Kaprizov was skating down the other side, maybe. But
No,
can I push back a little bit?
You guys got it right. You guys got it right.
Real quick, Jack, you can. We're going to try to get in 6 videos, so I want to keep it close on time. Go ahead.
Okay, so to the gentleman who said, that's the very reason why he should be yelling gun, thinking about somebody that might be watching this later. I think that's just instinctual in that moment. I can't be in the officer's head, but there's no one with them, so I'm thinking that's why he didn't yell it. But I sure as hell wouldn't want the officer in a tense situation like that to be thinking of what people will see later or think later. I think he should be thinking of the situation at hand and what's the best way to make sure that he survives and innocent, if there's anybody innocent there, potential victims, to get out of harm's way, not what may happen later.
Well, let me ask you this: if a guy in this situation, and you're on a grand jury, and they say the officer gives testimony, so he fell to the ground and he raised a gun towards me and I shot him, and then you see the video, and then they show you the gun that they said they found on him, even though you didn't see it in the video, you can't make the leap and believe the officer. He said there was a gun, and there was a gun that was found on him with his finger on the trigger. That's not enough for you to say that the guy had a gun?
Absolutely is enough. His finger was on the trigger, and the video doesn't cut and at any point for them to say it was planted. They're walking up on him, and you can clearly see that he has the gun the whole time. The frame doesn't. There's no.
And I think on the investigative side of it, the officer was smart to wait and not approach until someone else was there. And if you notice, the other officer actually had his camera out, was taking pictures to show the hand on the gun. So those would have been good for the grand jury that they presented to. But let's move along.
Joe, I want to say, why does it matter how many holes they shot in him? I'd turn him into the Holy Ghost if he had a gun.
Look, I just asked the question. It's a question
I'm just
asked many
saying.
times. Like, did they have to shoot him so many times? I just asked
Yeah.
the question.
Turn him into the Holy Ghost. If he's planning on shooting a police officer, then yes.
Yeah, you should.
Joe's
Jason's
giving
absolutely
Keanu
right.
Reeves a run for his money. Joe's giving Keanu Reeves a run for his money playing devil's advocate sometimes.
Let's move on to a friend of our show. Actually, we call him a friend. He may not call us a friend, but we call him a friend. That's Judge Joe Brown. Folks, if you don't know, he was a guest prosecutor on this humble little show, The Grand Jury, back in August, and we're going to talk to him about coming back again for one maybe here soon. But while he was here, we learned that he has a brand of barbecue sauce. And I know, Judge's barbecue sauce, whatever this, whatever that. But Bruce Wayne actually purchased some of this, and we're quite impressed with it, actually. It's got a very coarse ground. The spices in it very coarsely ground, hangs onto the meat, and it's got a great flavor. And I believe it comes with the set you bought was 3 flavors. Is it right? Am I right with that, Bruce Wayne?
Yes, sir. It comes with the regular barbecue sauce, the spicy, and a bit of his dry rub. Also a little bit spicy. It's all excellent. Cannot recommend enough.
So now we've got a little commercial for it. Guys, get out there and get you some Judge Joe Brown barbecue. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on his site. But Big Ron, we've got a little video, don't we?
We sure do, Joe. Let's throw some barbecue sauce on the screen.
Introducing Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor. With one taste of our premium blends of all-natural ingredients, herbs, and spices, you'll fall in love with meat all over again. Judge Joe Brown's all-natural barbecue sauce collection is made up of 2 zesty flavors, original and spicy.
Law firms will take this as a retainer.
What? It must be a law firm where they hungry as hell. Now you gonna help me with this parole I'm dealing with?
Folks, Judge Joe Brown is just that cool. He was cool on the show. I had the opportunity to talk to him on the phone and coordinating for it. And, you know, sometimes you'll see a different side of people, maybe the business side, but not with Judge Joe Brown. He's all business, but that's one cool cat. Give his barbecue sauce a shot. Send him a message. Tell him you heard it from the grand jury, Joe Linden. With that, Big Ron, let's roll case 5.
Case 5 coming up.
So this is a warrant service. They're going to serve a warrant on this Mr. Morales. And of course, they knock on the door, and Mr. Morales, who was there, said he's someone else and refused to open the door, and that's where our video is going to start. You can't hear what's happened here as they knock on the door. The subject inside starts shooting through the door. How the officer's leaning against the wall, the other officer backing up, the officer going into the elevator. That's what they're responding to, is shots being sent through the door.
Shots fired.
Possible shot fired. 10-15. 10-15. 10-15 East Gun Hill Road. Put it over. I got the door. He's trying to get out. He's trying to get out. Look. He's going.
Hello? Out the window? They're making a lot of noise in the back. Okay. Yeah, just watch the window.
Oh, shit.
Shots fired. Okay.
No, we're gonna have possible shots fired.
Okay. Shot fired, 10-15 East Gun Hill Road.
10-15 East Gun Hill Road. Put it over.
10-15 East Gun Hill Road.
Let me get the units here now.
Central, we have purpose child of fire. 10-15 East Gun Hill Road, falling to on. All level 4 units. Shut through the window in the back.
Shots fired! Stay down!
Case number 4. Portion of the video you'd like to see again, or any questions? So,
Did he die?
He did not die of his wounds. He was treated and then booked for original warrant. And I think
that was the guy.
The person that ran around the corner at the end?
Yes.
Yes, that was the subject inside the apartment.
Okay. That was the subject who shot first?
Well, he was in the apartment that bullets come out the door. So, yes.
Joe, can you show the part where, and if it's the first video I missed, how the hell did he get out?
Well, this is interesting, and I'll let Jason get in on this. If you'll see the screen now, you see the officer that's leaning against the wall like he's holding it up. He's actually holding the handle of the door to prevent the subject from opening the door. He even makes the comment. He said, I'm holding the door, until the guy, he said he's trying to get out, I'm holding the door, until the guy just can rip the handle out of his hand, and that's how he got into the hallway. But let's watch him getting into the hallway portion. And once again, this is the officer holding the door, body-worn camera.
Possible shot fire, shot fire. 10-15, 10-15. Shot fire, 10-15. 10-15, he's going to the road. Put it over. 10-15, he's going to the road. 10-15, he's going to the road. I got the door. I got the door. Central, we have a perfect. He's trying to get out. He's trying to get out. Look. He's going.
So that's from the officer at the doorway's body-worn camera. Let's look at the officer that goes for shooting, who's on the other end of the hallway. That's all happening at the same time.
Central, we have a purpose of the fire. 10-15 is going to falling down on all level 4 units. Shut through the window in the back.
And everyone's clear that the body-worn camera view that we're watching right now is the officer that fired the 2 shots. It was the female officer at the end. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Was there somebody else who came out of that apartment?
No.
He ran into the other, because he went left first, and then he came back to the where the officers were, and he ran into that one officer and knocked him down. I thought he got shot at first, but he didn't. He just bull rushed him and knocked him over. Nobody said anything about him having a gun at the time he got shot, right?
I don't recall anybody saying anything about a gun. We knew he had a gun because he shot 5
rounds. Right. Yep, just trying to. Yeah, I didn't hear her saying he had a gun or anything like that.
Well, y'all like the announcements on the gun thing. It's weird.
Did you say? I'm sorry. Did they had interacted with them through the door?
Yes.
Why in the hell did that big ass gorilla holding the elevator open? Why did he just let him go?
All right, here we go. Let's get the clock up. Put us up a clock. We're going to deliberate. Let's do it. All right, Gabs, tell us.
Okay, the dude holding the elevator is a giant. Why in the hell didn't he stop the guy trying to run away from the scene? And I heard him say possible shots fired. Are you for real right now? We heard that shit. So I mean, the woman who actually shot him, did her job. She heard the shots fired. She saw somebody try to flee the scene. She didn't know if he had a weapon. He was a threat. But that gigantic ass gorilla is the one who should be on trial right now.
Well, let me ask you this. The guy running down the hallway with both of his hands and wasn't necessarily above his head, but they were out in front of him. You saw that he had empty hands.
It saw that he had empty hands, but the woman who tried to secure the scene on the outside, seeing that people were coming, she saw the guy in the red shirt coming back with his dog. She's telling him to get out. She's going to look for more backup. She didn't see the guy holding his hands up, but that big ass gorilla did. He saw him holding his hands up. He could have just clotheslined him right then. Didn't do nothing.
No, keep going.
That's the person who should be in trouble, not her.
You don't think that she could tell that his hands were empty?
Not if it's a if he had already shot, if she did not see the weapon fly out of his hands, he could have it on his person at anywhere.
He doesn't have a weapon the whole time he's in the hallway. That's why
He
the other
doesn't.
officer
He's not.
didn't
He
shoot
doesn't
him.
have it in his hands, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have it. He was just shooting, and she did not see it fly out of his hands. But that you see that motherfucker in the damn
But
elevator.
does she
He
see
jumped
it?
out the way.
Let's talk
'cause he
about
was kicking shit.
let's talk about the use of force.
I'm just saying, the use of force was justified because she knew that the guy fleeing the scene was the person who they were looking for, and she just heard him shooting. No bill.
She heard shots coming from behind the door.
Yeah, we don't know it's him.
They knew that this was the person that they're looking for, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you're running and fleeing a scene and all that whole business after shots are just fired, sorry.
So are you okay using deadly force to apprehend someone?
To apprehend someone, not necessarily, but to protect the public, because there were people coming and going. There was a guy with this dog with the red jumper on, just walked past him twice. This guy just fired. She didn't see the gun being thrown away.
Well, I tell you what, Gab, since you're on the fence, I'm gonna let you think about it for a minute.
I ain't on the
You
fence.
seem
No
to be
bill.
indecisive on this one. I'm gonna go to Jack. Jack, what do you think?
It's no bill for me again. The officer that shot him, she was securing the outside, and she's coming back. She's hearing the commotion, and then there's a corner. There's a blind corner there that she's hearing everything. She's not seeing everything until the last second, and I think she still hesitates, and that may be just making sure that she's going to be shooting who the suspect is and not somebody fleeing. I don't know if they had knowledge if there was anyone else, if they thought there was somebody else in there. It could have been somebody just running away as far as she's concerned, because she didn't see all that. So I think she did, show enough poise to make sure she knows who she's shooting at. But he shot through the door, and he knew that there were officers there. I think it's completely justified. The only thing that was weird to me was why were they holding the door closed? His hands,
it's a tactic, and we're not gonna have. We'll get into it. We're not gonna have time to get into it right now. That may be an X space, folks. Folks, if you don't know, we do an X space after the show here. About 20 minutes. Give us a minute, and we'll get that space started. But we'll continue the conversation and talk about things like this. If anybody would like to join us, if you're new to the grand jury, but shoot myself, my co-host, or Jason, or anybody on the panel a DM, and we'll get you a direct invite to that X space. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that is a topic we'll talk about there. Jamie, give me your initial impression.
Okay, I'm gonna have to say no bill on this one, because even though she did not see a weapon, but what she could see was she heard the shots fired, and there was an officer down in the hallway, so she had a split second to react and neutralize any threat, and that would be him.
Officer prone in the hallway. Maybe the best argument I've heard so far, Jamie. I'm a little impressed with that. Goats, what's your impression on this one?
I would like to. Okay, my first impression is that we don't know if he was the one firing the shots. He didn't have a gun in his hand, and she did hesitate to look at him, and still fired as he was running away with no weapon in his hand. But I'd like to see the point she just brought up. She was going out of the. Did she actually see the? Okay, yeah. Did she see the cop that got knocked down, or was she in the other hallway? So she can't see. Okay, go back a frame.
Calm down, brother. Calm down.
Okay, sorry.
It's a little blurry, but you can see the dark object in the floor. That's the officer that Jamie brings up. That she comes around the corner, she sees her officer falling to the floor, and this guy running away.
The one thing, with these body cams, it's such a weird view on some of this stuff that you'd never get the view you're getting. It's kind of weird. And you don't
know how weird the view was before them?
What's that?
You know how weird the view was before they had them?
Oh, right. There was no view.
This got to do with what you got to do with, bro.
No, I'm just making a comment on it. Oh man. I'm gonna go true on this. Yes, true on this.
True billet. You're saying that the force used by the female officer, I don't know why I said female, the force used by the officer was not reasonable. It wasn't reasonable for her to have a fear for herself, a third person, or the general public at large. None of those existed.
I think just we don't know if it was it. We don't know for a fact it was him shooting. He didn't have a gun in his hand.
You don't have to know for a fact. This is not a criminal trial. Is it reasonable? Hold up. Listen to this.
Yep.
Answer this question and see if this helps. Is it reasonable to believe this guy that came running out of the apartment that a few minutes before bullets came through the door, is it reasonable to assume that he's the shooter?
It's reasonable, yes.
That's as far we go with the grand jury, my friend. So maybe this isn't. I tell you what, I'm gonna pause you there. Let's go to Matt. Matt, give it to us.
You know what you just said. Is it reasonable to believe he's the shooter? In my mind, it's also reasonable to believe he wasn't the shooter. I do see somebody down at the end of the hall. I guess he's on all fours. But this individual ran past two people who didn't shoot at him because he didn't have a gun in his hand. Yeah, look, I'm going to assume it was him that shot through the door, and for that reason, he probably deserves it. But I don't see any reason why he should have been shot running away.
You know, we talked about that third category when you can use deadly force when there's a reasonable fear for the public at large. They go there to arrest him for discharging a firearm, threatening people with a firearm. And they knock on the door. He shoots through the door. And then sometime later, he comes out with a backpack on and he's running away. Do you think you could make an argument that this guy presents a danger to the public at large with his behavior?
Sure. Would all of these officers have had, know what this gentleman looked like before they knocked on the door?
Actually, most likely.
That was a question I was going to ask you.
Yeah, most likely they would have. This is not a beat cops. This is a team, and the officer that did the shooting, you hear her earlier in the tape talking about they've got people on perimeter outside, and she's talking and relaying information about, hey, we hear a lot of noise out there. He may be trying to come out the window, and she passes that along to the sergeant who was holding the door. So I imagine they did have they knew who they were looking for.
Okay. All right.
I was under the assumption that they had a visual confirmation of what this man looked like.
I don't know where you got that from. I never said that. Yes,
you don't have to say that
assumption.
because they had a warrant to go out after this particular person, and they knew that he was not being truthful about who was in the residence.
Yeah, typically, if you're going to service an arrest warrant with a team like that, they'll take the time to pull a DL photo, or they'll have some sort of photograph.
That's what I'm operating under the assumption that they knew what he looked like.
I think you just pulled that out of your hip pocket. I think you come in loose.
I didn't pull that out of my hip pocket. My late husband was a lawyer. I know how this stuff works. So I didn't pull it out of my hip pocket.
I think you did a little bit, but we'll talk about that in the after party for sure. We're not going to let that go. All right, I tell you what, we really don't have 5 minutes to be on video, but let's go with a vote. Jack, true bill or no bill?
No bill for me.
Jamie, true bill or no bill?
No bill, because even though that guy might not have had a gun, he did shove that cop and the cop got injured, and that's assault on a police officer, and he fled.
Can you kill someone for assaulting a police officer and fleeing?
No, but you don't know what that man, what he would have been capable of if the threat wasn't neutralized. Any of the other police officers could have been in danger.
That's not as clean as Gab's tap dancing, but I'll accept it. No bill.
I'm sorry.
Goats, true bill or no bill?
I'm going true bill on this one.
Very well. Gabs, true bill or no bill?
No bill. You make me so sick, Joe.
Shocker. Matt, true bill or no bill?
My initial gut was true bill, but I'm going to go no bill, assuming what you said. They knew what he looked like. You know, he was on a weapons charge, and for me, it's danger to the general public if he's running around a building. So I'm gonna go no bill.
Post a verdict there, Big Ron. That's another no bill with that wasn't a unanimous decision. Goats was a true bill on it. Honestly, I think you can go either way with that. I will make the assumption that they knew who they were talking to, and it's reasonable to believe that this guy who's running down the hallway screaming was the guy shooting the rounds through the door. So I'll give that. I will say that I have a little pause because, and I'll give her a OODA loop. In other words, time to process and take action. But when she actually fired, that guy turned the corner and was running away. Just going to say there, Gabs, it's not as clear cut as you think, but I'm cool with a no bill on that one. Jason, real quick before you, or tell us what you think about that one. Then I want to get into some 3D response, but what did you think about that last video?
Didn't like the tactics. Really. I'm not a big fan of holding the door shut against a sheetrock wall. I think once those first shots come through, and this is procedurally, it's not whatever you guys think is a no bill or true bill. But once those shots coming through, it's an apartment complex. You got to protect the innocent around you. At that point, you need to back off and protect the innocent and set up a perimeter close and far. I just didn't like the tactics. But outside of that, they knew who this guy was before they went there. He's got a warrant. There's a picture of him, guaranteed 100% that you don't put a team together and go out and look for somebody without a picture of that person you're looking for. But that was just my thoughts on this one.
Yeah, you got to have some way to recognize a subject if he's the suspect or your subject. And I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. There are some policy. There's some things there that, Jason, I want to talk about in the after party. We talk about it a lot with the West Coast, but we see it in Chicago and we see it in New York, and we've seen it tonight. But I'd like to talk about that, especially when there are multiple officers working together. And we saw that in this New York video. Seems like we had one seasoned officer and everybody else is trying to figure it out. But with that, Jason, as I said in the beginning of the show, Jason is the founder and producer and inventor, if you will. Him and a few other folks have been working on the 3D response system for the last 10 plus years. It's installed in just under 20 schools now, and it may double here in the next few months, it looks like. There's some smart schools in Minnesota that are actually putting this in. But it's a unique system. It provides both before, aftercare, preventative care, during, and after. If the most horrible thing could happen at your kid's school, and that's some maniac that shows up to harm them. But it provides protocols for schools to how to handle someone who might be a threat instead of using your guidance counselor to try to figure out somebody who might have a criminally sick mind. But on top of that, when mental health fails, when smoke detectors fail, when good feelings fail, hopes and prayers, and metal detectors and AI, when all that fails, Jason has a fail safe, and that's the 3D response system in the treatment that they do to these schools. It provides safe places and places for children and staff to be until the law enforcement and first responders can get there and sort it out. Big Ron, we got a quick video on it. This is actually what you're seeing is the 3D response system actually installed in a school in Minnesota. This is part of some annual training that they do to make sure that law enforcement and the staff, like you do fire drills, they do drills with the staff and law enforcement, so everybody's up to speed on exactly how it works and can maximize it in case the worst were to happen at their school. Run that video, Big Ron.
Law enforcement is on the way. Law enforcement is on the way. Law enforcement is on the way.
I see you entering. Take a right. You're going to proceed down the long hall, all the way to the end. You're going to go till the end where you're intersect to the classrooms. Keep going. I see you moving forward. Subject is held up in classroom 203.
the way. Law enforcement is on the way.
Jason, you're not going to have any time to talk about it. We'll talk about it in space. Folks, that's going to be our show. Catch us on X. 20 minutes, literally. We'll kick off a space on X. You can find it at Joe Lanou _Lanou. Send us a DM and we'll get you a personal invite to it. We'll keep the party going there and keep talking about what we saw here tonight. Special thanks to our volunteers and Jason, Big Wayne, Bruce Wayne, and Big Ron, and other folks that you don't know that have helped put this together this week. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you in the after party.
An incarcerated individual's use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies. Thank you for using Securus.